Hi, everyone. We are LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa.
And we are here to share our experiences from today's Army membership presale for BTS Permission to Dance live in LA.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath. A major bloodbath, but we all knew that coming in. So we are here to give you some tips and tricks. And it's, since I also like scoured the web too, just to see if there are anything that would help us purchase tickets. So we are actually going to go see them. Yay!
We were lucky enough to both be able to do the pre-sale, so we actually are going to get to go. But we do know people who had the code and never got in before they sold out. So you really do want to be on top of it, the timing. And Tammy found a bunch of great things on Twitter.
Yeah, so you guys should definitely go through Twitter. So what I did is I went to Twitter and put Ticketmaster in the search bar, and I put it to latest to see like what people would be saying. And I did this like an hour before the show just to get like an idea of what's going on. And also it's also good to do your homework too, because if y'all been following us, I love to do research. And I've been I've been looking at Twitter a lot to see like everyone's experiences, because they went through VIP, Map of the Soul VIP went through their pre-sale, General Map of the Soul went through their pre-sale, and then Army, which is us, went through our pre-sale today. So gathering all that information, and so Twitter is actually your best source, like literally your best source. So the first step is oh, sorry, my dog. My dogs. Okay. Like first, you guys should log into your Ticketmaster, make sure you have the right password. Because like me, I had to reset my password because I couldn't remember what my Ticketmaster info was. To be quite honest with you, it's been a long time since I purchased tickets. No, I'm being so serious. And so be prepared for that. Also, for you guys that have that general pre-sale code, what I did, I used my laptop. So basically I pretty much went by the email that they gave us. They recommended us to use laptops or a desktop to purchase tickets. I didn't want a chance using the app, though I heard some people on Twitter had a lot more success with their phones, but who knows? It's the luck of the draw with like different variables like internet connection and stuff like that too. So, but personally, I use the laptop. Beth used the laptop. So what I did is, since Ticketmaster, they texted me the link and the code separately. They'll send you an email first, and then they'll text you twice. Then I took that information and from the text, and I emailed myself so that when it came to purchasing the tickets, I could copy and paste that code that I emailed to myself into the pre-sale section. But so step
But
one,
before you go to that link, you have to sign into your Ticketmaster
yeah,
account. Make sure you do that first.
yeah,
Otherwise, it'll get all error messages all over. So you want to sign into your Ticketmaster and make sure that your credit card on file is up to date. Then you go to the link they sent you and put in your code.
yeah, yeah. So then in the instructions, I'm not sure if it'll be different, but it seems like it's the same across the board. You'll get that email that if you're pre-sale, they say that 60 minutes beforehand you could go enter into the queue. So you have to wait for an hour. So
the waiting room first, waiting room, and then you'll be in the queue when you're about to get tickets.
Yeah, waiting room first. So when you go into the waiting room, oh, thanks, Beth. So when you go into the waiting room first, when it hits 2 p.m., make sure you refresh. That was one of the big tips that we got from Twitter. Sometimes like people would just let it go and they'll freak out and they're like, oh my gosh, like we're not in the waiting room yet. That's the reason why. So just make sure like right at 2 p.m. just 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. Make sure to refresh, and then you'll go.
And just so you know, I refresh like 4 times before it worked. So don't freak out if it doesn't do it the first time. After the second time, I texted Tammy because I was freaking out. But I
Yeah.
just refreshed a couple more times and it worked eventually.
I refreshed. So what I did, I refreshed. I wasn't sure about my internet connection too because it's been a little bit wonky lately. So I refreshed that 30 seconds right beforehand to see like how long it would take. And it took me like 15 seconds to refresh. And then right at 15, I
Wow.
refreshed again. Yeah. So just to like do that. So, I mean, it took me 2 times to refresh to get into the waiting room. So once you're in the waiting room, then it's a big waiting game. So don't watch Squid Game
You'll
during
have anxiety.
you'll have more anxiety. I had major anxiety. Okay. So I was texting Beth a lot about it. But that being said, so once
The
you're
waiting room is the hardest part, I think, right? Like, because you have to wait for a whole hour before you're even in the queue.
Mhm.
And, the queue's not short.
Yeah. And so do not, absolutely do not refresh your page at all. So unless you get kicked out, that's a different story. But if it's there and it's doing that little countdown, that there's a little timer right there, so absolutely do not refresh. Like you will probably
And we
go
both
back.
changed our sleep mode and our idling mode because you want to make sure that your computer doesn't power down to save battery. This is not the time to save battery.
Yeah.
Just make sure that it's going to be working the whole time. Otherwise, you could get booted or an error message, or it'll think you're already in there when you're not. So
Yeah, and secondly, we didn't get a lot of errors because we listened to Ticketmaster. Some people have opened 4 different browsers on the same account and they kept getting booted out. And so we did not have that issue. We only used one browser and one account, and it went through just fine. So Beth was actually queued up first before me, and so she was able to get tickets faster than me. And my huge learning, like from this whole process, is do not try to pick your seats. Use that little slide bar ticker, that tells you the price. Once you see the price and the number of tickets, just go for it. Just go for it. Who cares? Because it's going to be a pain in the ass to try to pick your seats because someone else already snatched it. It literally took me almost an hour to get my tickets. Whereas Beth had a different situation. Like hers went by a little bit quicker. Yours was like within like 20 minutes, right?
yeah, because I got ahead of you in the queue. I went from like 2,000 plus to 1,650 to 900 to 200, like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So it really varies how long you're waiting in the queue. Because we were at the same point in the waiting room. So
Right.
you just never know. And then, yeah, once I got on there, I did the slider thing. I picked the number of tickets, I picked the highest price range. And I did make the mistake of like, it was giving me tickets and I was like, oh, where's that? Don't do that. If the
Yeah.
tickets are in your price range, just buy them. They're going to be good. And then eventually I kept clicking on things and it was like, oops, these have already been bought. Oops, these have already been taken. So I just started looking at the prices
Yeah.
because we had a max amount that we would spend. And I just picked the highest ones that we were allotting for ourselves and just tried to get them over and over again. And another thing that I did is they have all seats and top seats. And I was toggling back and forth. All seats, it was starting me with nosebleeds. And there was plenty of non-nosebleeds available. If I went to top seats, then all of a sudden it was like in area C, in the 100s, in the 200s. But every time I tried to get tickets and it said, oops, someone already bought those, it would take me back to nosebleeds. That seemed to be the default. So you had to switch back and forth. I would just go to all seats, then top seats, all seats, then top seats. And suddenly there were much better seats available in top seats.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Don't know why.
Yeah. So I will say like within an hour it's probably all nosebleeds, so, and that's what I got nosebleeds. So which is fine. Again, like SoFi Stadium is actually, there's no bad seat in the house because it's a new stadium and their construction is amazing. There's a big screen. I've been there literally like a month ago, so I know exactly like I have an understanding, or everything's very green. Do not bring cash, because everything is all debit cards and credit cards. They're very green there. They're really big into recycling and stuff like that. So that's advice for you guys. Make sure you guys read the requirements for purses, bags, because it's a stadium. So I can't remember the exact size, but ladies, bring your clear bags.
I
So
believe the largest you can bring is a Ziploc freezer size, right? Or
yeah,
a gallon size,
yeah, that sounds
something
about
around there.
right. Yeah, so no big bags whatsoever. So it's still stadium rules. Like you have to, you know, bring that clear bag or whatnot. Just go on the SoFi website. And of course, subject to change, but you guys have to be vaccinated or have a COVID test within 72 hours, right? So you may want to check up on that again. So yeah. So do you have any other tips or tricks? Because those are mine. So like again, don't um if you pick seats, just make sure, do know that you're probably not going to get them. They're really hard. Just use that ticker bar. Use that
And
little
also,
slider.
you won't probably get the first couple because everybody's on there at once. Like I probably got rejected probably 5 or 6 times. I was starting to freak out.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to stop being so concerned about where you're going to get and just get your seats.
Yeah. Yeah, just get your seats. Just go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. Like, don't worry about where they are because, like she said, it's new construction. They built it for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So everything's going to be good. We're just so excited that we get to go, and we cannot wait to hang out with a bunch of other Army who are
Hang out with
just
you
as
guys.
crazy as we are for BTS. That's going
And
to be the most fun for me.
and if you guys are going, send us like a message or something, comment below or
Yeah,
something like that. We'd love to meet you guys.
yeah.
So we love meeting fellow armies. So but yeah, so those are our little tips and tricks. We figured we'd push out like this special video so that we could help fellow armies out there and people who are going to purchase on Saturday at 3 p.m. So good
Good
luck,
luck.
guys. Good luck.
Good luck.
We hope to see you guys soon. We love you guys. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Love ya. And we are
LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa. We'll see you guys later.
Bye,
안녕.
annyeong.